Morning, everyone. If everyone will take your seats, please, we would like to go ahead and get started. I'd like to now call the School Innovation and Turnaround Committee to order. Roll call, please.
Dr. Volpe? Here. Dr. Volpe is present. Mr. Castile?
Here.
Mr. Castile is present. Dr. Davis?
Here.
Dr. Davis is present. Ms. Ellis?
Here.
Ms. Ellis is present. Mr. Garvey?
Here.
Mr. Garvey is present. Ms. Holloway? Ms. Holloway is not present. Ms. Mellering?
Here.
Ms. Mellering is present. Mr. Morris?
Here.
Mr. Morris is present. Ms. Orange Jones? Ms. Orange Jones is not present. Mr. Rock? Mr. Rock is present. Ms. Gautier? Ms. is present. We have a quorum.
Great, thank you, ma'am. What's our first item?
The first item is on page 1, item 2.1, consideration of the voluntary surrender of the Type 2 charter for Excelsior College Prep Academy. The recommendation is to receive.
Make it a motion. There's a motion by Dr. Wilkie and a second by Mr. Garvey. Your presentation, discussion?
No, sir. This is a charter that has surrendered their charter, and we have visited with families. We have visited with the local school systems, working to ensure that those children assimilate into systems. And so, again, this individual charter made the decision forward to relinquish their charter.
Great. Any public comments? So I have no public comments, no additional comments from the board. Any objection? The motion carries. Next item?
The next item is on page 3, item 3.1, consideration of the partnership agreement between the Recovery School District and Third Future Schools for the continued operation of the school operated at 4055 Prescott Road, Baton Rouge, Louisiana 70805, formerly Democracy Prep, as an RSD direct-run school beginning with the 2023-24 school year. The recommendation is to approve.
All right. We have a motion by Dr. Wilkie to approve, seconded by Mr. Garvey. Is there a presentation, Mr. Superintendent?
Not necessarily a presentation, Mr. Castile. Just some background. This is the school of Prescott. Previously, DPREP surrendered their charter, and we have decided to retain the school in our portfolio as a partnership agreement with Third Future Schools. I would like to recognize Mike Miles and Michelle Moore with Third Future, and just allow Mike to come forward and just say hello to the board as the leader of Third Future Schools.
Hello, everybody. I'm Mike Miles, CEO of Third Future Schools, and if I may...
We're going to turn that mic on for you, Mr. Miles.
How about that? That better?
Yes.
Mike Miles, CEO of Third Future Schools, and if I may, just a couple minutes to address the board. Mr. Chairman, is that okay?
Yes.
So, in this country, we're at a nexus point. As a profession, we've not been able to close the achievement gap. COVID made it worse, and we're back to where our scores were in 1992 as a profession. So the real need is there, especially for schools that are chronically failing, and we come today with due humility to say we're turnaround experts, and we've done this several times before, but we have no illusions about how tough this is going to be. And we know also that it's not just about the operating. There's several conditions that are necessary. We wouldn't be here if those other conditions wouldn't be met. Number one, we need a state superintendent and a board who feels the urgency, like we do, about turning around poor performing schools and doing right by kids and closing that achievement gap that has been enduring for many, many years. Number two, we need local advocates like New Schools Baton Rouge who are also willing to invest in both the operators and the schools and the community to try to turn around these schools. Number three, we need a community that's willing and wanting to change the fate for their children and change their trajectory, put them on a better path. And only then will you have the fourth condition, which is an operator that can turn around these schools. We've had several success in doing this in Texas, and we hope to do it here. Just quickly, the reason why we're different is we focus on the quality of instruction. We have a highly differentiated model that pushes kids who are ahead and gives kids who are behind more time. thing we do is we really focus on staffing. Staffing is a big issue. We've been ahead of that curve. Our average salaries, we think, for every authorizer that we've ever had is about $12,000 more than the surrounding districts. In this case, it'll probably be about $20,000. We hope to have about $80,000 average salary. But it's not just the salary, as you know. It's also about the conditions. So, for example, we make sure that we provide all the non-instructional tasks we do for the teachers. They don't make the copies. They don't make the PowerPoint, the presentations, the assignments. That's done for them. What they need to do is teach like champions every time they're in front of kids. When they leave at 4:15, their work is done. We handle the discipline problems in the school, the administrators do. So teachers are freed up from that. So in our schools, kids get 185 days of high quality instruction. We have 6 schools so far this year, and we've never had a vacancy all year long. That's because we have teacher apprentices, we have learning coaches, and I can go on about the model, but I think I'll answer questions around that. The last thing I'll say, by way of preamble, is that we also have a unique way of engaging the community. All of our schools have community consultants teaching martial arts, dance, photography. We pay these folks $30 an hour. It's a good way to get the community members into our schools because our students not only receive an elective, but they also receive these other experiences that are taught by the community. I'll stop there, sir.
Mr. Castillo, if I could just say that, it's just super important that we get this right for these families that have experienced a number of different educational options over the last few years. We feel like we have done due diligence with Third Future. We have had meetings with them here in Baton Rouge numerous times. We have worked through their budget. I have asked the principal questions to Mr. Miles, and then we took time in terms of due diligence to also travel to a school site in a one-day whirlwind trip just to see it in action, to make sure that we could see what they were saying in action. And so we feel good about this opportunity. And like Mr. Miles said, it's going to take community support. And that's why some of the partners that he mentioned are really important. They too step up to make sure this works for these families and these kids.
Great, thank you. Other comments from the board, Mrs. Morris?
Mr. Miles, thanks for sharing with us today. You mentioned the $80,000 teacher salary. That's going to be a conversation starter for us and get folks excited about your model coming to Baton Rouge. Additionally, the way I interpret it is basically you're unloading teachers, right, to really teach. And with your model, that's where most of their time is. And you delegated those other responsibilities to other folks on your staff. One thing I heard about that didn't mention that I was also impressed with was the opportunities for students to get additional perspective relative to grade level. With some travel opportunities, depending on how well they responded in the classroom. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yes, sir. So one of the goals of Third Future Schools is not only strong, rigorous content, reading, writing, math, science is important, but also on top of that, we need our students to gain some experience and perspective through other activities that wealthier families often give their kids. So piano, dance, photography, martial arts, those sorts of things we provide. And yes, sir, travel. So our 8th graders will travel out of country. They have to meet minimum attendance requirements and minimum achievement requirements, but those who meet those requirements will travel out of country every year. So this year, our 8th graders are going to Japan. Our 7th graders will go to out of state. So this year, our 7th graders are going to Washington, D.C. And then the schools that only have K-6, the 6th graders can go out of state. So our lower grades go to regular field trips, but the other upper grades go out of state and
Any other comments, questions of the board? Ms. Armstrong.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your comment. Just a bit more about your results. So I really appreciate, it sounds like there's a real holistic approach to teaching the whole child. Obviously, you've named many things that are part of the curriculum, and particularly what you've done on the teacher side to support our teachers to do better work. How are those inputs leading to outcomes for children? Can you speak to that?
Yes, ma'am. Great. That is the question. It's not a great school unless you get good outcomes. So in our schools, we have 4 of our 6 schools are turnaround schools, meaning they're chronically failing schools. We've been invited in to turn them around. And we typically get on the NWEA MAP assessments, 1.85, almost 2 years of growth in 1 year's time. We've done that for 6 years in a row. On the state accountability, in Texas, they have what's called the STAR exam. In all 3 cases, we went from an F to a B. In one school, we went from an F to a C to B in 2 years. In the one that Dr. Brumley was talking about, we went from an F to a B in 1 year. So, again, Louisiana is a different state. We're going to make sure we address the key standards in Louisiana, of course. And we feel confident that we'll be able to turn around the school in 1 year. That's the goal. Again, I don't have any illusions about how hard it is. Okay? And every school is a little bit different. But we know kids can respond to high quality instruction. We've done our turnaround in 6 different cities. So we know it can be done. Again, Baton will be a different city yet again. But we have to destroy the myth that it takes 4 or 5 years to turn around a school. Our kids don't have that kind of time.
Great. Mr. Garvey.
Yes, sir. A couple of questions. I heard it mentioned that your average teacher salary is anticipated to be $80,000 a year.
Yes, sir.
Are you going to be able to accomplish that with just the state funding? You're not bringing extra funding outside of the regular state and local funding?
Yes, sir. So my board's policy is that the school has to be viable in 3 years. Viable means being able to do all the things we do with the salaries we have, the personnel we have, with the teacher apprentices, with the not travel, I'll talk to that in a second, but all the other things we do without any additional funding besides your PPO, people operating revenue from the state, plus federal grants like Title funds that come every year. So the answer is yes, we'll be able to do that. Are we going to take grants up front? Yes, because we buy pianos, we buy interactive smart boards, we buy spin bikes for our students, Chromebooks. So we'll have the startup money will fund, the grants will fund the startup equipment. After that, with the $80,000 is a recurring cost, that has to be paid for by state funds.
If you're putting more money into teacher salaries than the average school, you, I would assume, must be spending less than average on something else.
Yes, sir.
What else would it be that you would be spending less on?
So if you look at how we run our systems, the whole focus is on teachers and the quality of instruction. So we don't have a lot of overhead. We don't have a lot of central office. It's all geared to the teacher. We differentiate our salaries so that we can pay higher. We do very creative things like hire community consultants instead of elected teachers. We have elected teachers. On top of that, instead of hiring elected teachers to do martial arts, dance, we hire community consultants. We have no professional development apart from the principal or directors. They're all instructional leaders, so we don't need to pay for that. Many of our instructional materials are already developed, so the school doesn't have to pay for that. In this case, we'll have to do a little bit with grant money to align our curriculum to Louisiana standards versus Colorado or Texas standards. But that won't come out of the school. So once the school has that, there's no cost. And things like that. I mean, I can go into a lot more detail, but that's basically how we do it.
Okay, and you mentioned that you have schools in, I think you said 5 or 6 other cities.
Yes.
Can you tell us what cities those are?
Yes, sir. We have a school in Aurora, we have a school in Colorado Springs, we have a school in Odessa, Texas, Midland, Texas, and Austin, Texas.
Thank you.
Dr. Davis.
I'd just like to say that a decade ago this month, I wrote an editorial asking the RSD to return Prescott Middle to East Baton Rouge Parish Public Schools because they were using a 1,000-seat school for administrative offices. And I still want Prescott Middle returned to East Baton Rouge Parish Public Schools, and I think that a partnership with Third Futures puts us a step closer to doing that, because I believe that if you were able to replicate what you have done in Midland, I think that the school will be transformed, and it's my hope that in several years, I'm sitting in the audience asking you, whoever's still left here on Betsy, to return a successful school to EBR and give EBR the chance to partner with you. I will say that I hope that your school coming to Louisiana gives us an opportunity to do what the charter school law intended us to do, which is to replicate innovative practices that are working. So I'm excited about the possibility of us seeing some of the things that you're doing in our schools replicated across the state.
Yes, ma'am. By way of comment, I'll just say, we hope to be a good partner. And I think we understand partner to be, it's your school. And the fate of the school is in your hands. We have no intention to hold on to a school. We want to do right by kids. We want to turn around the school, and then we'll stay as long as you want us to.
And I appreciate the fact that you are returning Prescott Middle's name to that community, because that means a lot to the neighborhood surrounding Prescott Middle to have that name back.
Great. I don't see any other questions or comments from the board. We do have some, at least one public. No, still Mr. King Campbell supports but does not wish to speak. Mr. Corey Ryder supports but does not wish to speak. Mr. Superintendent, do you have an additional comment? Any objection to the motion? Seeing no objections, the motion passes.
That concludes the agenda.
Thank you. We are adjourned.